So, guys, nice creative remote Monday for you this week. We are going to continue with Blender in the session on Wednesday and Friday. So, before we get to making things move, I want to spend a little bit more time trying to model things. Now, I obviously did a kind of like workshop on last week about creating this hammer. But we are going to essentially do these three fundamental Blender techniques for a new object of your choice. So we're going to do a mesh model. We're going to add kind of materials and colors. We're going to think about kind of good practice in topography, like how things kind of fit together and how they work. So I'm not sure why I've gone down the construction theme, but I would like you to find one or two objects in your house that you think would be a good, simple, easy model to create within Blender. So it needs to be something with nothing too complicated, nice simple shape, something that you think that you could actually create in like an hour and a half. So I've chosen a saw. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just take a number of reference pictures of this object. So it might be a kind of, it could be a toy, it could be a utensil, it could be a piece of furniture, it's completely up to you. But it needs to be something that you can hold in your hand or you can actually access so that you can take some reference pictures. So with my saw, the most difficult parts are going to be the handle, because it's a slightly more interesting shape. The saw itself is just essentially a long triangle, and the teeth. So the screws and the teeth are going to be kind of the more difficult areas that I'm going to need to think about and look at in more detail. So take a number of reference pictures, and I'd recommend that you try and sketch it just so you can try and get the overall shape roughly right in terms of the dimensions, and you can think about what shapes would you need to build it from scratch. So if you remember with the hammer, we started with a cube and then we kind of extruded bits and scaled them up and turned them into spheres. So this saw shape, you might want to start with a flat plane that I can turn into like a big kind of triangle, and then I'm going to start probably with what's called a torus, which is like a donut shape, and then I can adjust it and make it more angular. That's how I'm going to make my saw. So try and like sketch your object or take some pictures. I recommend doing a bit of both, and bring all of that to the workshop on Wednesday, and we're going to then import the pictures into Blender directly, and you can use them as references in order to create your models. So nice, simple, just spend a bit of time finding a good object, take some pictures of it, sketch it from a number of different angles, and then bring that to the class and we'll have a go at building it.